Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pence.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful welcome. I'm honored to stand before the 2010 Value Voter Summit, the largest gathering of social conservatives in America. And I'm proud to stand here as we are gathered today at the beginning of the end of the Pelosi-led Congress on Capitol Hill. Terry, I'm very humbled by that generous introduction. And, you know, there's an old saying that says, behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. And it's my great joy today to be joined by my wife of 25 years this year. Give it up for Karen Pence in the House. And all those kind things he said, the introduction I prefer is a little shorter. I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. What a difference 2 years makes. You know, I also like to say, you know, I'm a conservative, but I'm not in a bad mood about it. But I got to be honest with you. Last couple of elections, that's been a little bit tough. I mean, after the 2008 elections, we were, most of us, still pretty sure about our principles, but uncertain about the future. It seemed in those times that there was only a remnant of people in this country unbowed by the glamour and the appeal of the new American left. Unprecedented Democrat majorities in both houses of Congress, liberal dominance in the media, in our courts, our public schools, our universities. It was extraordinary. It was a force that seemed indomitable to everybody. Everybody but you. Now look at what you've done. Historic elections in the state of Virginia, historic elections in the state of New Jersey, and the state formerly known as Massachusetts has a Republican member of the United States Senate. And to these conservative victories, we have When Harry Met Sharon playing in Nevada, Joe the Senator in Alaska, and Delaware is about to send a conservative to the United States Senate. You know, as we say south of Highway 40 where I grew up, who'da thunk it? You know, and your enthusiasm for conservative values has caught on. Even Republicans in Congress have gotten back to fiscal discipline and conservative values. I mean, let's be honest. 4 years ago, Republicans in Congress didn't just lose their majority, they lost their way. When I opposed those big government plans, No Child Left Behind, the Medicare prescription drug bill, when I opposed the Wall Street bailout, I told my colleagues that if we kept acting like big government liberals, the American people would eventually go with the professionals. Sadly, they did. The truth is, our party in Congress walked away from the principles that minted our national governing majority. The American people walked away from us. You know, I get asked all the time, though, have House Republicans really learned their lesson? You know what I say? After a year that saw every single House Republican vote against that phony stimulus bill, every single House Republican vote against their budget-busting budget, and every single House Republican vote against their government takeover of health care, I'm here to say House Republicans are back in the fight, and they're back in the fight for conservative values on Capitol Hill. So we've made great strides in the past year or two, but there's a lot more to do. Men and women, let me tell you, despite the exuberant optimism in some of the national polls, we have a battle on our hands. I know MSNBC says Republicans are going to win just a couple of seats in the House. Fox News Channel says Republicans will win all 435 seats in the Congress. Now, the truth is, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. We cannot rest, we cannot relent until we win the American Congress back for the common sense and common values of the American people. Now, these are very serious times in the life of our nation. A nation conceived in liberty has come of age in bondage to big government. We've lost respect in the world. We're going broke. Our social and cultural fabric is unraveling. People are scared. In the face of their failed leadership, our party must have the courage to produce a vision for a better America. So what does that look like? Well, it always begins in the same place, our obligations to one another as a nation. It means rededicating ourselves to doing what is necessary to defend this nation at home and abroad, and giving the American soldier the resources they need to get the job done and come home safe. That's job one. You know, the end of combat operations in Iraq was an important milestone, and the President was right to mark that day with a national address. But make no mistake about it, we would not have seen that day without the sacrifice of the American soldier, their families, and without a commander-in-chief who would not accept defeat in Iraq. Let history record President George W. Bush's decision to surge forces in Iraq was right and courageous, and Barack Obama, Harry Reid, and Nancy Pelosi were wrong to oppose it. It's time to give credit where credit is due. The American soldier and our courageous commander-in-chief. And it means giving the intelligence community the tools they need to fight the war on terror like a war. We have to stop putting international public relations ahead of public safety. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and his terrorist cohorts should not be tried in our civilian criminal courts. They should be tried at Guantanamo Bay, where they belong. And it means defending those who defend us from being used as pawns to advance a liberal domestic agenda. For our soldiers, their families, for readiness, for recruitment, for cohesion. Don't ask, don't tell must remain the policy of the United States Armed Forces. And lastly, it means being good to our friends and tough on our enemies, not the other way around. You know, the recent criticism of Israel over construction in Jerusalem and acts of self-defense was appalling to me. I never thought I'd live to see the day that an American administration would denounce the Jewish state of Israel for rebuilding Jerusalem. Let the world know this, if it knows nothing else. America stands with Israel. And closer to home, that vision for a better America begins with turning back the big government agenda of this administration, especially when it comes to Obamacare. Now, Democrats may have had their say on the third Sunday in March, but the American people are about to have their say on the first Tuesday in November. And House Republicans will not rest until we repeal Obamacare, lock, stock, and barrel. Now, to those who say it'd be difficult to repeal and replace Obamacare, I tell you it's a two-step process. First, we repeal the Pelosi Congress in 2010, then we replace the Obama administration in 2012. That's how you do it. And a vision for a better America also means putting our fiscal house in order at home, reining in the growth of government with new limits based on our history and the principles enshrined in the Constitution. We need a conservative majority to do that, to do the hard work of fiscal discipline and reform, put our national government on a pathway toward a balanced budget, and end the era of borrowing and spending and bailouts once and for all. And while we have to end the era of runaway spending, fiscal discipline alone will not suffice. Today's headlines tell the tale. The economic policies of this administration have failed. The U.S. poverty rate rose to a 16-year high. We continue to hear the class warfare rhetoric about how the rich got richer. Now we know their strategy. Under their policies, the poor get poorer. It's heartbreaking, men and women. A vision for a better America means preserving and promoting the kind of tax relief that has always and will always release the inherent power of the American economy. It's not more spending. It's giving the American people more of their hard-earned tax dollars to spend.